Create this magnificent dish that can be an appetizer or complete meal. I have named this soup Pacific Corn and Vegetable Chowder. This recipe makes one pot, or about 8-10 portions of memorable chowder. In this, we will purchase, wash, prepare, and cut the following vegetables: 1 red pepper, 2 zucchini, a half a box of mushrooms, a half a bunch of celery, half a small bag of new potatoes, and 1 bunch of asparagus, stems removed. Use a 1/4 cup olive oil and half gallon of milk, which we set aside until needed. You will eventually heat this sized pot between low to medium heat. We will use a method to first add oil to the pan, warming them in a light sauté, while we continue to cut and add vegetables as we go along. Pull out a bag of cooked shrimp, select at least 8 to 12 medium shrimp. Put them in warm water to thaw. Buy a package of cod or halibut from the freezer section. For this, we will use 2 fillets per pot of soup. If frozen when you open, put the fish packages warm water while we prepare the soup. Pour oil into a 1/4 cup measure of olive oil or avocado oil. Prepare a half cup of flour for later. This will use to thicken the soup. Add the oil to pan. Begin to heat on low to 4 setting for electric stove. Ready all vegetables as shown for preparation. Begin cutting potatoes into small bite-sized portions. Cut the potato in half, then half again, then thirds or half again based on size of potato. Add to pot and mix with wood spoon or other large spoon. Dice the celery as shown. Add to pot. Make sure you don't make them too big. You want them to fit on a spoon easily. Keep mixing every few minutes. Manage heat to keep cooking low, but not burn while you cut the other vegetables. Always stir every minute or so while chopping the vegetables. Never let the pan burn by getting too hot. Use knife to cut around pepper seeds. Then cut strips and dice the red peppers. This video demonstrates how to cut the peppers. Once done, then add them pot and continue to mix. Cut leeks in half, then slice very thinly across. As little half moons you can break apart. Add to pot and mix when sliced as directed previously. Continue mixing the vegetables in the pot. Check the shrimp to make sure thawed properly. Check the fish to make sure it is still thawing adequately. Begin chopping 2 zucchini as shown in picture. Continue cutting as demonstrated in this image. Zucchini is added near end of vegetables since it cooks faster. Add to pot and mix with other vegetables. Now chop the asparagus into small pieces. Carefully cut and dice into small pieces. Watch the demonstration as shown in this image, then add to pot. Mix again all the vegetables, as shown in this image. Now begin chopping mushrooms as shown. Watch this video for a demonstration for techniques in chopping mushrooms. I always cut a mushroom in half, then slide while flat to avoid cutting my fingers. Round vegetables like mushrooms or carrots can be dangerous, so always cut a flat side in half before sliding further to avoid accidents. Once done, add to pot and mix as shown. A key is that once mixing with butter and oil, we add the flour to coat the vegetables fully in a mixture called roux. Roux is a mixture of equal parts flour and oil or butter. We coat vegetables evenly before adding the milk to the pot to avoid the flour causing lumps. Add 2 tablespoons of butter and mix into the vegetables as well. This will add a little more creamy flavor to the soup. Keep mixing every few minutes on medium to low heat and scraping the bottom so roux or vegetables do not stick. Never forget, always mix while the pot slowly comes to a simmer and not a full boil. While simmering, cut the corn. I cook the corn separately on the cob and cut off the cob fresh into the soup. But you can use frozen corn as well, or strained canned corn if desired. Watch this technique on how to cut the corn carefully off the cob. Add and mix to the pot. Watch this video to see specific techniques. Continue watching the techniques shared in this video and keep mixing the pot carefully. Continue mixing as shown. Slowly ensure that heat is adjusted to the right temperature where it won't burn but will slowly come up to a simmer and thicken. Now mix in the milk. I mix in 1/4 of the container first. Stir it in well with the roux, then add the remaining milk, keeping the heat at low to medium. Keep stirring as demonstrated in the video here. Turn down the heat if needed. Make sure you watch and mix so things do not burn as you are preparing the next step of the fish. Once we season the soup with about 5 turns of salt or 1/2 teaspoon for the pot. Now for spicing. We will use salt, pepper, chives, optional, and turmeric, optional. I sprinkle about 8 to 10 turns of pepper. You can always add more later to taste, so don't over-season the pot. Use a teaspoon to taste periodically and season more if needed. Watch the technique mixing, as we will begin to cut the fish and the shrimp in the next stage. Here, we will cut open the fish while we watch the soup begin to simmer but not boil, since boiling will break the soup. Separate the milk. Using the knife, pull the fish from the water, which should be thawed out. Remove fish fillets from plastic, then slice carefully the fish across, then across again into small bite-sized cubes. Once cut, we will put the raw fish into the soup and mix. By now the soup will be close to a boil, so once it is a light simmer, turn off the heat while adding the fish. The fish will cook in the hot soup and be ready by serving time. As you can see, a large amount of steam will come off when the soup is ready to turn off, and add the raw fish we just cut into cubes. Watch this demonstration on the video. Using the knife, pull the fish from the water, which should be thawed out. Remove fish fillets from plastic, then slice carefully the fish across, then across again into small bite-sized cubes. Once cut, we will put the raw fish into the soup and mix. By now the soup will be close to a boil, so once it is a light simmer, turn off the heat while adding the fish. The fish will cook in the hot soup and be ready by serving time. Chopped fish looks like this when done. We will next carry the board over to the pot and mix in carefully. Don't splash or burn yourself. Now we add the cut fish from the board into the soup and mix. Watch this demonstration video to see how that is done. Always mix the soup around so the fish spreads evenly with the chowder vegetables. Next, we prepare the shrimp. Watch the technique in this video on this method in the video. Now watch the technique in this video for how we cut the shrimp. I prefer the pieces to be small, so they fit in a spoon easily. Now add the shrimp pieces last, since already cooked to soup chowder. Watch this demonstration on how to add the shrimp and mix in. Soup is now ready to cool with lid for 1.5 hours before serving. Once cooled for 1 hour, reheat portions of soup or serve after removing lid, which still may be a good hot temperature. Add other seasonings last. We like to add a little more turmeric or give it a spicy flavor, adding a pinch of curry as well. I garnish with fresh Italian bread or sourdough toast that I chop warm into cubes and garnish in cup. Enjoy and let us know what you think if this recipe turns out well for you. Thanks for watching Chef Z on Techie Chef Tips YouTube channel.